What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video, and this is extremely breaking news, all right? I didn't really do a video, and I just got back from New York yesterday, and I pretty much slept the whole day. So I came back in last night, like 1 in the morning. So I went up there for the Giants-Washington game. I went to see some family, of course, and came back down here. But now starting to recover a little bit. But like the Dave Gettleman news, we all knew that this was Dave Gettleman's last game, and it was all a matter of, is he going to be retiring, or are they actually going to say we fired him? But with this news, this is different here because this one was very 50-50, very split in the Giants fan base. And I think now we're all starting to realize that it was the right decision. But, including myself, I was really a guy that was on the fence about it and really was going to go wherever the direction that the organization went, ultimately went. When it comes to Joe Judge and him being fired now after reports of the Giants actually retaining Joe Judge, it comes as a shock now that he has been fired without the Giants bringing in a new GM and letting him decide if they're going to keep Joe Judge as head coach. And this, to me, is very bittersweet, and I'll get into the reason why. But first, I'll get into why I kind of wanted Joe Judge to stay. But I'm not saying I wanted him ultimately to stay, but I'm saying that I kind of convinced myself if he does stay, the following things might happen. He might actually get more mature as a head coach, as his second year, being a head coach ever at any level of any sport. This is a learning opportunity for him these first 2 years. And the third year, obviously, we'll get a chance to see if he's matured as a third year ever head coach. And I wanted to see where that led to. Another thing is that I love Joe Judge's kind of rise to become the New York Giants head coach. I love the story behind it, and I love it just seemed very New York Giants-esque, right? It just felt very New York Giants-esque. And also, he say what you want, say what you guys want about how the players play on the field, but these players love Joe Judge. They really do like Joe Judge, and they fight for him. They play for him. We've seen other head coaches in the past. You look at Pat Shurmur. You look at Ben McAdoo. You even look at Tom Coughlin towards the end. I mean, these guys were losing the team. It didn't seem like that for Joe Judge. It honestly looked like they loved Joe Judge over there. You never saw anybody kind of throw him under the bus in any sort of way or fashion. But the consistency, with Joe Judge being there and having someone there that the players knew and obviously have been under for the past 2 years would be something, I guess, to build from. But when it comes to Joe Judge and him ultimately being fired on top of Dave Gettleman being let go, this is the right move. This is what I really wanted the Giants to do from the get-go. Completely clean house. And I just read a tweet as well from Tiki Barber. I'll put it up there. Tiki Barber said an amazing quote right now, and I don't really agree with Tiki Barber when it comes to a lot of things because he loves to bash the Giants. But he said the Giants don't necessarily need to clean house. They need a clean look at the house. Okay, so that was a little bit of a tongue twister there, but he's absolutely right. You have to look at not the people in the house, not the things in the house, not the mess in the house, but the actual house itself, the structure, the franchise, ownership. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about ownership, so we have to pretty much leave it to them to make the right decisions and hire the next GM and have a hand in hiring the next, coaching staff and, ultimately the players and execution from there. But it all stems from ownership. And like I said, there's nothing we can do about it, so we just have to hope that we get a clean slate in here, and we get a new GM and a head coach on the same year. Now, this is something that I am really looking forward to. This is something I can't wait to see what transpires, to have a new GM. And these GM candidates are coming from good organizations, okay? You got one from the Bills, one from the Titans, 2 from Arizona, 2 from San Francisco, okay? These are teams with a lot of recent success. Obviously, no Super Bowls were involved, but a lot of recent success. And the San Francisco 49ers obviously made a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So this is something that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing and how it all goes down. Something new that the Giants are going to be doing because they've never done that, right? They've never fired their GM and never fired a GM and coach and then hired a GM and coach in the same year. They haven't done that in recent memory, to my knowledge. But now they have an opportunity to do that and start all over again. It's something I'm actually really looking forward to. So, and now another big question is a kind of a domino effect of this situation is the quarterback position, okay? Now, I'm already, listen, I'm sad about this, but I feel like this is something that we can move on from, and that's Patrick Graham. I think Patrick Graham did a phenomenal job with the New York Giants. I know there were a lot of times where his team or his defense didn't look prepared for the situation or the task at hand for certain teams, but that to me was the least of my problems was the defense. The defense went above and beyond the call of duty to win, help us win games. I mean, the primary reason this team actually looked like they were going in the right direction was because of the defense and something that we can build from and eventually hope that the offense kind of picks up from there. But Patrick Graham and the defense, I mean, absolutely did a fantastic job. I would hope, I don't think it would happen because obviously new GMs, new head coach, they're going to want a new coordinator, especially if they're replacing their offensive coordinator since we don't really have one right now. So Patrick Graham may not be able to stay here, which I think is very sad. But I can live with that. Now, the big question now is the quarterback position. The New York Giants have the fifth and 7th pick, I believe. I could be wrong about that. The 5th and 7th pick in this draft, or I'm not sure about the 7th pick, but the 5th pick I think we have. But we have 2 picks in the top 10. You have to think a new GM, like I said, new GM, new coach. You have to think that one of these picks may go to a quarterback, and the question from there on is, who is that quarterback? Because I don't think the New York Giants are going into the season with Daniel Jones. I just don't think so. I think Daniel Jones is gone. I think that if Joe Judge remained with the new GM, I think there's a possibility that Daniel Jones stays, but I cannot see in any form or fashion somebody from the outside looking in, now inside the building, able to make decisions, actually keeping a quarterback that had less than 15 touchdowns in 2 consecutive seasons. Okay, so 15 passing touchdowns in 2 consecutive seasons. So I do not think Daniel Jones will remain the Giants quarterback in the next upcoming season. So we'll see what happens to that. But guys, that is it. That's some big news. The New York Giants have fired Joe Judge. He would not be a part of the organization anymore. It's a little bit of a bittersweet moment for us. Obviously, the Giants get a chance to now restart and kind of start off with a new slate and rebrand themselves and kind of establish an identity again with a brand new cast of front office guys and coaching staff. But on the other hand, this is a guy that honestly I think could have been, if he had experience, if Joe Judge had experience, he could have been a hell of a head coach in the NFL, and I think could have took a team places. But unfortunately, that is not the case, and he is now not a New York Giant head coach. So that being said, guys, leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.